We're going to talk about this mechanism first. This is a mechanism that was put together by this gentleman in the late 1940s. He started out, the components you see from down here carry all the way up through here. That's a part of a Norden bomb site from the Second World War. He found it in a surplus store, and he thought it would make an interesting basis for a machine he had in mind. And he called this the do-nothing machine. He worked on this for 7 years. There's over 750 gears in it. And it's a really interesting piece of machinery.
Oh, I love the reflector.
Yeah, the red reflector is something we put on in about the late 50s because he was touting this as a flying saucer detector. If the red light was flashing, that meant there was a flying saucer in the area. But we haven't bothered replacing the bulb because we haven't encountered any flying saucers recently. So
how many parts are in this?
Over 750 gears. Here's an interesting array of gears. You have a round gear driving a square gear and an oval gear. Here you have a bunch of little cams just moving these fingers back and forth. Up here you have a track with a steel ball. It's driven off of 3 bevel gears which drive a cam on the end of each of these rods, and those cams go from a high point to a low point, and causes the track to articulate, and the ball generally rolls that way. Here's a crankshaft out of an old IBM machine. There's a lot of interesting things going on here.
How many different machines did he get all this stuff out of? So 700 parts probably.
There's really no telling because his daughter said that, of course he passed away many years ago, but his daughter said that when he'd get bad weather and he couldn't work, he'd go to one of these industrial surplus stores and come home with a box full of gears and disappear out in the garage for a while. Here's a sprocket with no axle, stays right in the same place, doesn't go up or down.
Do you guys ever have to fix it?
Yeah, I've had to fix it at least a dozen times. And that bothers me because I'm starting to understand the darn thing.